Here she comes. Guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Building a Home series. Very proud to announce that the block walls are up. More so for me than for you, but good for the YouTube channel. And before I start getting into all the cool footage, I'm doing these videos kind of like a montage. So if you're new to the channel, new to the video series, I kind of BS a little bit and then I just show all the footage at the end. Of the guys working hard kind of in the phase of the completion of the project, just to kind of give you guys a inside look at how it goes from, you know, one phase to the next. But what I want to do on this video series here before I keep rambling on is to go over a few specifics, because this build is a little unique. This build is adjoining one house, obviously, to a new house, and then eventually this wall comes down. So I want to go over a couple of quick points, and I'm going to pipe in some footage probably now of what I'm about to talk about here. So you'll see a guy drilling into the concrete block wall, and what he's doing is he's adding steel into the existing house. So he drills a 5/8 hole straight through the masonry, adds a rebar with epoxy, which basically bonds the rebar into the concrete, and then brings it into the new cell of the concrete block wall, and then ties all that together with steel. Then they pour, and I'll cut in right now, or you might have been watching already, they'll pour this solid, this whole cell full of concrete, and what it does is it ties the new block wall to the existing block wall, almost creating a stronger joint than what's existing on the house. So that's one of the things I wanted to note. So we have that happening over here on the house, and we have that happening up here in the front wall over here. And I have footage here of the guys doing that. So that's the first thing. Then, and the next thing I want to note as far as the construction methodologies are, if we look down here, remember those rebar that were sticking up from the slab? You could see that's this rebar right here, okay? The one with concrete all over it when they poured. Then there's a new rebar, which I'll cut in some footage now of this is actually a really long rebar, over 10 foot long, that goes down the entirety of the block wall, and then it's hooked in at the top of the block wall. And what that does is it allows, once they pour the whole entire wall, the top of the wall and the cells with concrete, is it creates a continuous tie beam all the way from the roof structure all the way down into the bottom of the foundation. So what that is for is obviously for hurricanes and wind speed requirements. So it gets the house completely tied together. So you'll notice here as I go through at the bottom of all these block walls, you could see where they have the steel being shown for inspection. And the knockouts. And also, when they pour these, they pour them from the top, obviously. All the concrete comes falling down, and then it would pool out. So in order to inspect and tie everything together, they cut a notch in the block to get everything tied in, right? Then they cover it with plywood, and then they'll pour. So in the future video series, you'll see that happening in real time, which is really cool. So you can see that's what you're looking at down here. So other than the obvious, these are 10-foot high block walls going from the slab all the way up. And then the floor system is going to sit on top of these walls, 24 inches, and then it's going to have another 10-foot high frame wall up above. So I'll try to document everything as we go through. But this is the shell of the house, which is really exciting to be at this phase so quickly. We really did move pretty rapidly on this. Back here is going to be covered with stucco Also, talking about construction methods, you'll see these concrete beams here. These are called precast lintels, and they're created so it supports the weight of the concrete block wall up above and any load that's on it, and it sits on each of these sectors that are poured solid with concrete on the sides of the windows, and it acts as a support. So anywhere you see an opening, you're going to see a precast lintel. The brand on these is called Castcrete. It's pretty standard fare, at least here in Florida, of who they use to make all of them, and they're not cheap. So back here used to be the porch. Now it's all closed in. This turns into a storage room / pantry. And then coming back here, we have existing house. So there it is from the back. So hopefully I've piped in some footage as I'm talking here so you can see. But remember, at the end of the video, I'm going to just have like a little music clip and then a montage of everything happening, because it wasn't always this tidy when we were building out here. It gets pretty messy and pretty clean really quickly when you're doing concrete block walls. So you'll notice these 2 notches here at the bottom on the existing house. This was to locate the existing slab height so they could pour this concrete slab. There's one over here. There's also one up here. I think they got it pretty good. I'm a little concerned it might be about 3/4 of an inch out. So this floor is probably going to be skim coated on the existing side, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Talking about window sills, I went with the flush sills up here because the entire existing house has flush sills everywhere. So we want to keep with that look. So when we talk flush, they don't stick out like a ledge. These are flush, and these are also precast. And it caps off that block nicely. This is a 12-foot wide by 8-foot high sliding glass door opening. And again, just similar to a garage door and any other opening that you're going to see in concrete block, you have your precast lintels that go all the way across, filled with steel and concrete and poured solid. So it makes for a very tough structure. I think Jax is liking it. So I'll pan around out here on the outside so we can get a good view of it, and then I'm going to pipe in some footage. This is the remainder of the block that we didn't need, and there's no room for a dumpster out here, so this is my new garbage pile that contractor will scoop up and get out of here before we hopefully put in trusses, which hopefully the delays won't be too long, and we'll have trusses soon. Well, there she is. This is the front of the house, but all this fencing is going to go once this is not a construction site anymore. This keeps all the looky-loos out when we're trying to build. Some extra steel. It's 5/8 rebar that they'll come and pick up. So yeah, hope you guys are learning something on this video series. I'm green in some aspects of the construction process, but I'll try to explain it to the best of my knowledge as we go. So if you guys are thinking about starting a project like this, you can be a little bit better educated and kind of understand the process as it goes. So, all right, well, this is it. So right now I'm going to pipe in all the footage of the hard work. It's a 3 or 4 day project. One of the days was rain out, but I'll put all that footage in so you can see all the fun and the not so fun stuff and how we got here. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll get you on the next video. Next video is going to be, actually I might throw in the next video pouring the lintels just to get that up on the series, because that is a phase. But the next big one's going to be trusses. So pretty excited about that, guys. All right, talk to you later. Morning. How you guys doing? Not a big deal, but I don't want it to turn